So my name's Daniel Soul. I'm a program manager for the Azure VM Image Builder, and I'm joined by my colleague,
Akshay Joshi, and I'm the program manager for Shared Image Gallery.
So we're going to talk about customizing images and how to make that easy. So the overview, we're going to talk about the Azure VM Image Builder, which literally just went public preview today. We're going to talk about the Azure Shared Image Gallery. So what do we see in Azure? People build VMs from the Azure Marketplace images. These may be Microsoft Windows images, they could be canonical images, or they could be Red Hat images, and that's fine. But then customers want to take it to the next level. We see a lot of customers deploying VMs from customized images. This is maybe where they've brought their own image to Azure and they want to make changes. Or it could be that they've taken an Azure Marketplace image and customized it for their purposes. And why do they do that? There's a few reasons why customers customize images. One is for performance. Customers want to have their application already baked into an image, so as soon as they turn a VM on, the VM can take the workload straight away. They're not having to do any post-VM create customizations. The other reason is security and compliance. We have a lot of corporate customers, and they have what I call the golden image. And that's an image that's been blessed by their security and compliance teams, and it's mandated that any servers that they build must be built from that image that meet those standards. And lastly, it could be for licensing. Azure Marketplace has a certain licensing model depending on the publisher and the offer and the SKU, but there's some customers who want to bring their own licenses for their operating systems to Azure. An example of that is Red Hat, bring your own licensing. So what we're going to talk about with these two features is how can we make image building much easier than it is today? How can we share images between different customers? How can we replicate those images across the world, and how can we patch them? So for those of you who haven't heard of the Azure VM Image Builder, this is a brand new service. Like I say, it's been public previewed today. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to define a custom image in a template. And simply what you do is you just define this template and then you submit it to the Azure VM Image Builder Service, and it will then go and create the image for you on your behalf. At no point have you had to understand how to create images in Azure, how to upload them, how to distribute them. The image builder does that all for you. And essentially, the image builder is made up of 3 components. So I'm going to talk through them. We have the source. So Image Builder can ingest different types of source image. So it can ingest existing custom images that you may have. These could be either managed images, or they could be images from the Shared Image Gallery. And Akshay is going to talk about that in a bit more detail. It can also ingest Linux and Windows images from the Azure Marketplace. And we can also ingest a Red Hat ISO as well. So for those of you who build Red Hat images and want to bring your own licenses, this is what you need. We then have customize. So you've got your source image, but then you want to do something with it. And it could be that you want to migrate your scripts and your commands and bake them into the image and customize it. For the Windows side of the house, it could be that you need to do Windows restarts between your application installs. If you've got some sort of DevOps pipeline and you want to get your build artifacts into the image, we also have this ability where we can copy files down from your build share into the image, and then you can run scripts against those. Lastly, we have the distribute. So Image Builder can distribute to a VHD. This allows the images to be used with Azure Stack. And for those of you who build images that to be published in the Azure Marketplace, we're also testing Image Builder with that as well. Lastly, we distribute to the managed images, and we also distribute to the Shared Image Gallery. So now I'm going to hand over to Akshay, who's going to talk more about the Shared Image Gallery.
Thanks, Daniel. Just like Azure VM Image Builder makes it easy for you to build virtual machine images in Azure, Shared Image Gallery makes it easy to distribute, share, and manage your images. Once you've built and published your image, let's look at the key capabilities of Shared Image Gallery. Let's look at the key things that you can do with Shared Image Gallery. First and the foremost, you'll be able to manage your virtual machine images more efficiently with Shared Image Gallery. What that means is, with the 3 new ARM resources that we've introduced as part of this feature, you'll be able to logically group and version your images. You can also globally distribute your images depending on your organizational needs. For example, if you're a business which is headquartered in East US 2, but you're also conducting business in Brazil and Canada, you can globally replicate all of your virtual machine images based on your needs. And the most important thing that you can do with Shared Image Gallery images is that you can share them with other users in your organization. You can even share images across Azure Active Directory tenants. Where this becomes particularly useful is when 2 companies merge, they suddenly have infrastructure spread over 2 Azure tenants, which is when you can have a single repository in one of the tenants, and you can share virtual machine images across tenants. And then the last capability that I want to talk about today is the ability to make images highly available. What this means is, in regions that support availability zones, you can choose to keep your images in zone redundant storage accounts, which makes your images resilient to zonal failures. What that means is, even though a zone goes down, you'll still have access to that image in that region. I'm now going to hand it off to Daniel to talk about the image builder demo.
Okay, so we've got some really exciting demo for you today. And we're going to show you how we've been testing merging these 2 services together to really create an image building pipeline and management as well. So what am I? So I'm a developer, and what I have some code. And I've got this in a repository that sits in Azure DevOps. And what this code does is it just builds a website, something very, very simple. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it. But I've been mandated by my security team that I must use their golden image, and I can only build from that. So what I'm actually going to do is I have the shared image gallery, and that has my corporate images, the golden images that I need to build from. So I want to take my web application code and I want to bake it into that corporate image. So I set up my Azure DevOps pipeline, and I create the build pipeline, and then I create the release pipeline, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. And this is really cool because what we have is we have an Azure VM Image Builder DevOps extension to make it really simple for you to just create your image and bake in your build artifacts from the web app code repo. And what Image Builder will do, it will take the latest golden image, it will bake in the web app code, it will then run a script, create the web server, and then it will distribute it back out into the shared image gallery. One thing is to note is that the shared image gallery is made up of what we call multiple image definitions. You can think of these like containers for similar types of images. So here I've got one called Windows Server Images, and then I've got one down here called Win App Images. So Image Builder will do that. Once it's created it, we will then validate it, and I'll show you what the base image was, and then I'll show you what the final created image is with the web app, and then Akshay will come back and show you a bit more with the shared image gallery. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so what we've got is here, we've just got a very simple repo, and I've got here my web app folder, and inside here I've just got some really basic PowerShell that's just going to create an IS server. This is really not very exciting stuff. I lack a lot of imagination, so it's the best I could come up with. So that's what we've got. And then what I did was I needed to create a build pipeline, which I've already gone ahead and done. But I want to focus on the release pipeline. So let's have a look at that. And what you can see is here, I've created the release pipeline, and I'm taking the artifacts from the build, and then I've created a stage that will essentially run 2 tasks. The first task is just running some Azure CLI, and what this does is, this goes and gets the latest version of the corporate image from the shared image gallery. So it's pretty simple. But the one I want to focus on is the Azure Image Builder task. And if you want to add that in, you can literally press the plus button. And if you just do a search for Azure VM Image Builder, you will see the extension there, and you can add it straight in. For time, I've already gone and created the task for you, and I'm going to just talk you through some of the salient points of it. So the beauty of this task is it abstracts from you creating a template for the Azure VM Image Builder. So what we do is we set it up and we say which subscription do we want to run it in, where the service is going to run from, and then the source. So we're saying here the source is going to be the Azure Shared Image Gallery. This is where my corporate images, my corporate standard images are. And what I'm doing is I'm using a variable to essentially get the latest image from the previous task. Then I've got my customize. So here I'm using a PowerShell provisioner. I can also use a shell provisioner as well if this was Linux. And then I'm selecting my build path. Remember, before this particular stage runs, I'm hooking this up to my build pipeline. And what I can do is I can go in here and I can just select the web app directory. And what will happen is Image Builder will then upload that to a storage account and download it into an image. So you have all your build artifacts baked into your image. You have not had to think about moving that yourself and doing the mechanics of it. And then lastly, I'm going to run an inline script. All this is going to do is just execute some PowerShell. Here you can specify a storage account. This is the staging storage account that Image Builder uses when it pushes up the build artifacts and then pushes it down into the image. Lastly, I have distributes. So here in the distributes, I'm selecting Shared Image Gallery again, and I've got some other options there I can take, but for this, I'm just going to use Shared Image Gallery. And notice, sorry, the text is really small. I'm going to distribute this to the WinApp images Shared Image Gallery definition. And then I'm also going to actually then say, right, Image Builder, I want you to replicate this globally to 3 regions. Now, one of the things that we're working on completing, which will happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks, is that Image Builder will allow you to pass your regions in and distribute them out globally. But if you go into the Shared Image Gallery and try to add more, there's a small bug we have at the moment that prevents that. We're working on that to resolve that. So if you want to use this now and you want to replicate to more regions, just do it up front. So we have all that, and then essentially what we do is we hit the release, and it will go and do the build. Now that will take some time. So I've already got a build that I've already run, and I'm just going to show you some of the points here. We can see here we've got the Azure VM Image Builder task, and you can see it's run the template, and here's some output image URL that is quite long. But you can see here that it's already gone and created the version. It's already gone and created from the Win Server Images image definition, and it's gone and taken that and created a customized image in the WinApp Shared Image Gallery definition with a different version number. So it's already gone ahead and built it. Now, you don't have to believe me that that's actually worked. I can give you some evidence of that. So I'm just going to connect to this RDP session here. So this is my base corporate image. And what you're going to see in the base corporate image is that I have this build actions folder. And again, my creativity ran away with me. And I've just got this file that's been baked in there. Okay, so that's the base image. Then what I did was, using Image Builder, I took that base image and I then put some build artifacts on that and ran a script against it. So what we should see is here, we should see the build actions folder that came from the base OS image. You can see here I've got this build artifacts folder. That's where Image Builder put those build artifacts from the pipeline. And then here we've got this Image Builder web app folder, and that was created by the script. And then if I just do a local host 8080, it will show me that Image Builder created a web app. So what you've seen me is take the corporate base image, apply the changes by putting my web app in it, and it's just gone and created a secondary image. So back over to Akshay. Let's go.
Thanks, Daniel. So I'm going to show you a couple of things with Shared Image Gallery. One of them is once you've built out the image, I'll show you how to globally distribute your images to all the target regions. And I'm also going to show you how to share your images with other users in your organization. And then we're going to try and create a VM or a VM scale set from the image. Let me quickly move over to
What are you looking for?
Daniel's laptop here. All right. I see that he's created an image under WApp images, and then you can see the image versions here. Shared Image Gallery is nothing but a container of all your images, and then image definition is sort of a logical grouping for all your similar images. And under each image definition is the image version, which is the actual bits and pieces with which you spin up a VM. So this is sort of the most important resource. Here we have two resources. One of them is replicated to one target region, and the other one is replicated to 3 target regions. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. And then I'm going to show you how to update the replication. If you want to add more regions, you can just add it right here. But due to the bug that Daniel alluded to, we don't quite have the ability to do that with Azure Image Builder's images right now. But then if you've created a Shared Image Gallery image outside of Azure Image Builder, you can scale it out to any number of regions that you want. And you can choose the replica count at this point. What that means is, depending on your load, you can choose to keep the number of replicas in each region. If you have a lot of load in East US too, then you might want to keep more number of replicas. This would help you spin up more number of VMs from that single image, right? And I also talked about ZRS capability. We have CLI and PowerShell right now for zone redundant storage accounts, but then portal support is coming soon. What you'll have is you'll essentially have another column here for you to be able to choose the storage account type. If you want standard LRS, you can do that, or if you want ZRS, you'll be able to do that as well, right? And then to share your images with other users, what you can do is you can, since all 3 are ARM resources, you can add access at any level. You can either share the gallery or the image definition or the image version itself, right? So here in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the gallery itself with me from Daniel's account. I'm going to choose reader permission, and then I'm going to choose AKJOSH, and then I can find me, and then I can click on save. And then it takes a while to propagate the changes, but what I'd done is I'd already given myself read permission, which is why you see this failure. The permission already exists, so I'm going to quickly move over to my laptop, and then I'm going to show you how to create a VM from an image that has been shared with you. Right, so this is my account, as you can see. And then under all resources, what you can do is you can choose the subscription from which you're expecting the image to be shared. In this case, it's Daniel's subscription. And I can see all the resources that have been shared with me. First and foremost, I can see that this gallery has been shared with me. And he has the 2 image definitions that he talked about. I'm going to quickly select one of them. And then I can see the image versions that he had created under each of these. What you can do is you can create a VM right from this screen. So you can select the image version, and then you can click on Create VM, and then just do some VM, and then I'm going to select West US, and then I'm going to under Browse All Images, what you can do is you can see that Shared Image Gallery images can be found now. So if you go to My Items and then Shared Images, you'll be able to see the images that have been shared with me here. You can even filter them by publisher name or shared image gallery name as well. And then once you've given all the information, I'm going to spare you all the details, but then you can give all the details and then click on review and create, which is going to create the virtual machine. And Daniel is going to close out the session now.
Cool. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening to our session. So pull that back. So what you've seen today, you've seen us create images using the Azure VM Image Builder Service. At no point did you have to know how to use any image building tools or creation tools. You didn't have to know anything about the operating systems. You didn't have to know anything about Azure. All you did was take an existing custom image, or you could take one from the Azure Marketplace, apply your scripts, Image Builder will create that image, distribute it out to the shared image gallery, and then you can replicate that around the world. You can increase the replica count. You can share that with your best friends, and it's all integrated. So we feel like we're starting to get the building blocks of this image building and management system for you guys to try. Like I say, Image Builder's just gone public preview today. It's not finished yet. We've still got loads more things we want to implement. We'd love you to try it. We'd love your feedback. If you want to see Image Builder or try it out, it's aka.ms, AZVM Image Builder. We've also got the Shared Image Gallery link, which is a bit longer. If you're interested in the DevOps task, it's AZVM Image Builder, DevOps, and that will take you to the documentation. So we'd love your feedback. We want to make this better and make it work really well. So yeah, thank you very much for listening.